This video is an extension of the 28 January 2019 Bitcoin report. In this video, I'm going to show you two elements. One element is Bitcoin and the second element is Litecoin. In the first element, which is Bitcoin, we show a option B scenario where we make the case that the spike in Bitcoin is coming, but that spike could potentially move on a few weeks. Take careful note when you go through this video. There is a lot of data to take in, and read your Bitcoin report, the one of today of 31 January 2019. Read it very carefully in conjunction with this video. The second element that we are going to go through is Litecoin. We make the case that Litecoin could potentially start breaking out between 11 and 12 February. The date is just approximate, but we see Litecoin potentially breaking out with about 500%. Again, be very careful, watch this video carefully, and read your report in conjunction with this video. The latest report, we show that we are now moving into a falling wedge. A falling wedge is normally most of the time bullish. And then we said come here over this period here, around about 2, 3, 4, and 5 February, that we are going to have this breakout here to the level of 3660. Now I'm going to show you now why this downwards falling wedge is part of a bullish pennant. The breakout is not, in my opinion, is not going to happen here. We initially said that the expected landing zone is there, around about 2 February, maybe 9 February, but in that vicinity, and we expect Bitcoin to break out. I believe at this moment that Bitcoin is not going to break up here in that level because of the loss of momentum. There's two things that we use in algorithm patterns. One is velocity. Velocity is coming down from AB, where the market moves downward. Then we get momentum, where the market moves upwards. The amount of velocity coming down reflects the amount of momentum going up. Keep in mind now, have a view of the bullish falling wedge. Now I know there's a lot of data on your screen, and I'm going to explain the data from left to right. From the left-hand side, this is where Bitcoin actually started coming down. And then we created this block here, which we call block A. Then we created block B, which is a low point, and we created block C, a high point, and then D, a low point. That whole thing there, that block was expected. Then once you get block D, the market moves up, and you won't find this in Elliott wave. This is not Elliott wave, this is algorithm patterns. When you get into block D in a big major uptrend, you get your A again. It forms that A, it forms a lower B, not as low as this one there, but just a lower B, and then your C is the breakout pattern, and then the pattern repeats itself over and over again. So we initially said that the market should be doing something like this, where it's going to break up, it's going to go sideways. See, there's your low, and then it breaks up, have another point there, and hit the high of approximately between 10 and basically in that little block there. So that was our initial pattern. Now, the market did not break out here, and exactly on the 22nd of December, the American shutdown happened. And then obviously the market went up, it dropped here, and went sideways to where we are now there in D. Now, interesting. I'm going to show you what we see here. Look at this pattern here. Okay, and I'm going to do that with that pink little oval circle there. Now, the second thing is look at this pattern here. We now have a restart of this pattern on the left-hand side. What we are seeing here is an A, the velocity comes down, A to B, velocity is down. We see momentum moving it up, but stopping at C, and then you get that big downtrend there to D. When we get to D, we get that breakout phase. Have a look at this purple line here. If you look at that, that is approximately 35 days of sideways action, where Bitcoin has an extended sideways action of 28 days. 28 of those 35 days are days that should not have been in this downtrend. Now I'm going to show you now why this is going to create a huge turnaround for Bitcoin, bigger and faster than what we thought. This is why I say the elite, they can manipulate Bitcoin as long as they want, but eventually these patterns will come and bite them in the back because the patterns must play out. Short term, they can drop Bitcoin, they can do whatever they want, but it doesn't work on a long term for these people that manipulate Bitcoin. We believe that the market is going to go up here up till about 5 February to that block into block A. Now this is the breakout that we expect. See that breakout here? And it lands into this box at about 5,200 to 5,800. I do not believe that we are going to have that breakout. And the reason is because of this extended downwards trend. That trend there has taken out a lot of momentum in Bitcoin. So what we now are going to have is we are going to have a fake breakout into A. Many people are going to think that this is going to be the big breakout, and that breakout is then going to go up to 5,000, 6,000, 7,000. I do not believe, and I want to give you an alternative count. If by Monday, Tuesday, this market does not break out, and we will identify that very, very easy, because the market is going to come down to a 3681 high. And if the market turns downwards, we are heading to point B and we're not going to break out. Come here Monday, if we don't break out, definitely we're going to follow this pattern. So I wanted to give you these two options that if we don't break out, we are going to break out a little bit later. Now have a look at this question mark here at 5200 and have a look at this question mark here at 6200. I believe that this pattern will be extended. And this is the alternative count. Now look at that. Again, you've got A on the left-hand side, B, C, D. You've got A, B, C, D. And you've got another A where the market moves up, velocity takes it down. And because of this coil of this bullish pennant, or perhaps you can call it maybe a falling wedge, because of that coil is going to shoot up a little bit higher. And again, in our opinion, that is going to be a fake breakout. This overhead resistance line, that big black line there, let me show you where that comes from. It touches exactly very nicely on three beautiful points there. Keep in mind that I do not have log scale on, so this is without log. So that black line there is the resistance line, and I believe that Bitcoin is going to hit that 4243 high, and then it's going to start dropping down here by 31 March and come back and retest the 3179 mark. So we are going to have a retest of this low here on this side of 3125, and I believe that it's not going to go lower. Now, I'm not saying that this is not going to happen. Anything is possible in cryptos, but I'm just saying that we see it as a very, very small probability. I'm going to make sure that if we head down to 4243, at that point there, you want to be out of the market, because this can drop and it can drop a little bit further. Not that I'm fearful of a drop. I like these drops, because if you sell out on the high and you come back and you buy here at the low, I don't believe we're going to go lower than that one there, 3125. We're going to stop at 3179, and Bitcoin is going to start turning upwards. And then the same breakout that we should have had here at 5200, that break is still going to happen, but be a little bit more powerful. And one of the reasons, the only reason, in my opinion, is this long American shutdown pulling the price down and downwards. And as I say, these patterns will repeat itself, and eventually this pattern here, this big one, is actually this one that should have happened here on the left-hand side. Now remember, the algorithm pattern always show A, B, C, D. There's going to be a larger pattern being formed on this side here. And that pattern here, now remember, these dates are not correct. As we go forward, I'll give you these exact dates. Now this pattern here is A, B there, C with an uptrend, a D, a drop, and then it starts over again. What do we do with this information now? Okay, let's have a look here. Okay, we recommended that people started buying here at 3427. I myself bought at 3,000, somewhere around there where my mouse is now. I bought as the market went up. I bought there. I sold there. I bought at different levels. I sold again there at C. And sometimes if I say I would sell basically 20 or 30% because I keep on buying and selling, buying and selling. And you guys know that I own about 5 or 6 cryptos. They are probably up here. One is NEO. You can see that NEO is now starting to come back again. I own EOS, OMG, I own XLM, Digibyte, Dash, and I also own Litecoin. So let's just get back to that. So my portfolio is very simple. So if you are one of those that bought here at the high point there, you simply don't sell. You don't sell here. You don't sell if the market goes up there. You don't sell here on the bottom. You simply ride out that wave for the next 14, 15, 3, 4, 5 weeks, and you start selling here at the top. This top here, if we do not break out here, our next step is B, and our next stop there is C, where you sell. Because at that point there, this point here is probably going to be slightly higher than this point here at A and C. At that point is where we need to sell. We're going to come back here and buy at D. So in effect, this breakout that we see here is going to happen, but it's going to happen a little bit later. You guys probably saw that I came out with this Litecoin prediction. Now keep in mind, we are not saying to anybody, go and borrow 100,000 and put it into Litecoin. Don't do that. Don't borrow money on a credit card because we are saying that Litecoin is going to go up 500%. What you need to understand is to take this information and watch the market. Don't buy yet. I already own Litecoin. I personally already bought a bunch of extra Litecoin. I'm going to zoom into that area there, but first, we expect the market to break out upwards between 11 and 12 February. And that breakout could take Litecoin to approximately $40. When we see that break upwards, then we will know that this pattern is going to be in play. You can see that Litecoin is starting to pinch right down there, the bottom there, and I'm going to zoom in there. Okay, first let's get the high point. The high point, in our opinion, is about 500% to about 191. And this is going to happen over a period of about 36 to 40 days. Very, very quickly. The pattern, let me just show you what we see. So we see a break up there. We see it coming back, and it will go up in 9 subwaves. Not 4, 5, or 6, but 9 subwaves. What we are going to see, and this is what we want to see, if this does not happen, we don't get into Litecoin. I believe that Litecoin is going to have an uptrend. We are not 100% sure about these dates. These dates are worked out in an algorithm pattern with all the data that we have. Sometimes new data can be introduced in the next 10, 12, 11 days, but I'm going to update you with a report, and we are going to seriously look at Litecoin. Now, what I want to see in this is that we go slightly upwards till about this level here of about $35 Litecoin. Okay, that's step number 1. We want to see that we go up to $35. Then at round about 11 or 12 February, on that Monday and Tuesday, we want to see a spike. Let me just clear this quickly here. On that Monday, 11 and 12 February, I want to see a spike like this, up to about that level there, just under $40. When that happens, now remember, this is number 1, I want to see an uptrend till the 11th and not a downtrend. Because remember this, let me take you back to Bitcoin. Bitcoin on the 5th is expected to drop, okay? There we go. But Litecoin is going to diverge from Bitcoin. So I want to see that uptrend and not going down, because remember here on the 5th, you see Bitcoin drop into point B. But we want to go up, and here at about $30, $35, we want to see that breakout just under $40. Then the third step is that we want to see Litecoin come back, almost touching that $35 again, and then it shoots up in 9 waves. With this wave here, that one there, wave 1, wave 2, 3, and over a period of 40 days, it's going to move up to 191. That is what we see in our data. Now, don't think that a lot of people are going to get into this, because it's going to look like people are going to say this is a fake breakout. No, I'm not going to invest in it. And many people, as soon as it reaches like over 40, just above that point there, Some people are going to take profits. Many people will, because it's going to drop and then it goes up again. Keep in mind, guys, that when you start investing here, and I personally will start investing when I see that top and I see that drop back, as soon as we go up here, as soon as I see that uptrend and I see Bitcoin dropping, okay, that's when I will get into the market there.